chance for LAFC, and it's in! This is clockwork football! Oh, what a save! ¡Qué clase de jugador! You will not see a better goal! Come on! What a beauty!
But only as far as Silva. He'll go back forward now. Good touch by Rossi. Rossi, a pass to Diamante in the area. Dio around the keeper and in! Goal, LAFC! Adama Diamante, it's 2-1!
I see Danilo have the ball. He's taking the ball up. He's winning the ball. And I think he's passing to me, but I see Diego is crossing past me, and he taking the ball. And from there, I'm just starting to run.
And what I love about this goal is Rossi already knew what he wanted to do with it, and Dio read Rossi perfectly and made the run before Diego even had the football.
I'm sprinting faster than the defender and coming in front of him, and I look up, I see the goalkeeper doesn't come out, and I was supposed to take it on my first touch, but I see he's not coming out, so I've started to take a little bit more touch, and I'm dribbling and just slipping in behind him in the goal.
Adama Diamante gets the start, and he gets a goal, his second in the U.S. Open Cup this season, and it's 2-1 LAFC.
I've been through this kind of one-on-one situation before, in a lot of times in trainings and a lot of times in the match. So just to have my calmness in front of the goal is just making me much easier to do a better decision when I'm coming in front of the goal.
The thing that Dio brings is just that ferocity, like in and around the box. It seems like he wants it more than anyone else. And he's gonna either cut you, drive past you, or just go right through you. He just wants it so much, and you can sense that when he has the ball.
Dio looking for a sight line, brings it back, yeah!
You could call him a victim of his own success because of the way he started 2018, and you got to be realistic about this. That was historic. No one has ever started the way Adama Diamante has in the history of Major League Soccer. So people expect a lot, but it's impossible to play at that clip. He had to deal with a lot of injury issues to both hamstrings a year ago, and again with the right hamstring here in 2019.
The preseason started a little bit slow. I was sick a bit, and I had some injuries, and started a bit slow into the preseason. I wasn't so much involved that I wanted, and I started to go slowly up, and started to use me more and more. And of course, I got the hamstring injury again, and now I'm starting to get my feeling back and getting in that form I remember I was the last year.
Diamante slipped through. Diamante a chance, rounds the keeper, puts it in! 1 goal his last 10 games, and he scored in 2 running.
If you ask me, I think the best is still yet to come this season for Adama Diamante, and I say that because some of the injuries early on in the season, and then he had to come off the bench. He was a factor coming in as a second-half substitute, but then he gets into the starting lineup and still doesn't have that regular rhythm, that regular goal-scoring touch that we saw from him, which was incredible last year when he arrived on the scene in Major League Soccer. So I think there's big things to come from Dio.
Whether he's coming off the bench or he's starting, he's sort of the same type of player as someone who's going to be really intense in attacking situations and also winning the ball back quickly. But what a lot of people have admired about him is that, you know, just like his strike partner, Christian Ramirez, it doesn't seem like his mood gets too troubled whether he's starting or he's coming off the bench. The two of them can kind of rotate, and whether Dio grabs the goal in a starting position or grabs a goal as a sub, I just think it's a wonderful problem to have. And I'm sure both of them enjoy having the competition of the other doing well in the same fashion, whether they're starting or coming off the bench.
This was the move, the change by Bob Bradley on everybody's mind. Ramirez out. Diamante in. Could he take advantage of this gift put forth in the Open Cup run?
For any striker, they thrive on being able to score goals, and Dio's always done great in putting himself in positions to get those chances. And we know if he just gets one, he can start clicking, just get 2, 3. It's crazy like that. But We've seen him getting great chances, great positions all the time, but to see him put it back in the net when he does get those chances was great.
I wanted to win the Golden Boot, and of course he started slow, but of course see Carlos is ahead now, so. But I'm happy for him, and it's a long season yet, and we never know. I want to win trophy here, and that's the main target of this team and for me to win this MLS Cup.
LAFC gets the 2 US Open Cup games in the month of June. Bob Bradley has made it pretty explicit. They need to put trophies in the cabinet. This is their best bet right now. They had to open at Real Salt Lake, a team they know very well, a team that has beaten them previously, and a team that has a distinct home field advantage.
Major League Soccer clubs going at it head-to-head, kicking things off here at Rio Tinto Stadium.
Well, the Gold Cup came around at a good time for Lee Nguyen. Mark Anthony had to go off with Canada, so Lee gets his opportunity. He hadn't seen a lot of playing time in MLS. Maybe his stats were down a little bit, but it didn't show in the Open Cup, and the goal against RSL was really a thing of beauty.
Laying down a real marker as this ball goes through to Lee Nguyen in the 64th minute, and the all-valuable second goal to give LAFC separation and a pathway to the final 16.
This was a great build-up play. Came from a throw-in. Tristan threw it in, and we were able to keep possession and swing it from right to left. We put an inside pass to Latif, and by that time, I think they were slow to move across, and so we were able to spread them out.
I played to Jordan, then Jordan said after I give Lee assist, Jordan said just come, when you come I'm gonna give you, when I give you just 10, you're gonna face everything, you see everything. So I came to Jordan, then Jordan gave me, then I saw Lee going. So I just want to play 1-2 Lee by maybe Christian just dominate the defender, then he just passed away, then Lee just get the ball.
I see the ball coming and I knew I was in, so at that point it was making sure I got a good first touch and then composing myself, and making sure I'm able to put the ball where I want to put the ball, and I think I was able to wrong foot Nick, and so it was a great build-up goal.
World-class finish from Lee Nguyen. Ball seated through right there. Great touch, puts it right ahead of himself. Grad behind. He's got enough time to place it in the corner and finish it to give LAFC that 2-0 lead.
You hear Bob Bradley preach, stick to our system, stick to the way we move the ball, and the chances will come. Well, we know guys like Carlos Vela, Diego Rossi, even Adama Diomande or Christian Ramirez up top, those guys are gonna get more chances to finish off goals. So to see a guy like Lee Nguyen get an opportunity where he gets to send one home and have his name on that scoring sheet, I thought was a huge plus for him, and that'll only open up the confidence bank.
It's always great to get your first goal off your chest, of the new season. You get the confidence going forward, and the first one's always the toughest. But after that, everything starts clicking.
Lee Nguyen has had his time as the talisman in the face of a team, one of the prolific playmakers in Major League Soccer. Here at LAFC, obviously being acquired mid-season last year, he's a guy that doesn't quite have that same central role. He was definitely a stabilizing force last season upon arrival, picking up that LAFC way, Bob Bradley's football ideas relatively quickly. This season, the emergence of Mark Anthony Kaye and Latif Blessing to go alongside Edward Atuesta has created a dynamic for LAFC where Nguyen's having trouble finding his starting place back after injury. But the fact is that he's a veteran and a consummate professional, and when the depth was a little bit exposed, during international duty for US Open Cup purposes, he obviously stepped up and was a huge stabilizing force both in the midfield and also contributing a goal against Real Salt Lake. So, he's a guy that's going to be there to answer the call, and just another example of the quality depth that LAFC boasts in 2019.
Obviously, getting injured sucked. Right as you're starting to feel like getting in the groove too. But was able to do rehab on the side, and then it took a lot of hard work and time. But yeah, I mean, being able to get that start and get that goal, and get the groove back, that definitely felt good.
What an important goal for Lee Win.
And that goal was an example of a run where he was able to disrupt the defense, had time on the ball as a result, and was able to finish.
In each and every game that he's played, I feel like he's gotten some sort of point or assist or goal, and he just continues to produce. And that's something that when you put him in there, you know you have that creativity. And there are times when we're a little bit more defensive and he comes on that he really brings that little edge, that extra pass, that clinical touch around the box that we desperately need sometimes.
Wally is an experienced player, so when I play with him, I have to learn everything about him, His passes, the way he's move, sometimes I learn from him. That's what make me special, So Lee is I watch him all the time, in training, in matches.
Well, Lee Win got Wally pipped a little bit after the injury. Latif came in, and Blessing has done nothing to lose that starting job. And the first person who would tell you that, and is a true professional, would be Lee Win. He knows that Latif has earned that starting spot, so he knows his minutes are going to be a little bit more limited, and yet he's still been a great teammate. He's been willing to do what it takes when he's on the field to make sure LAFC's offense still goes forward. Lee Win is just a consummate professional.
Been the mindset all year, I have to be ready no matter what, and this was a game where there was no takebacks, no later round, so we had to win. I think these games, I love.
There are things we have to do and things we choose to do. When you get a choice, choose thrilling. The new Porsche Macan.
Check out the LAFC pre-game show.
Believe it or not, there is a swimming pool, a small one, around that corner in a football stadium.
I wonder why they call it the Sunset Deck.
I mean, I need my SPF right now.
It's a hot one.
My second favorite Middlesbrough player all time, behind Fabrizio Ravanelli. Sorry, but I'll do my best.
I love your setup here. It's amazing.
Thank you. I take all the credit.
Yeah.
I feel part of the team. I feel part of this stuff.
YouTube TV, the home for everything LAFC.
Deflected to Wondolowski, to Eriksson, right back to Vaco, in the area behind the defense, Vaco, the shot, saves Cisniega with a kick save! The first day of practice in the spring, before the season even began, you could tell that Pablo Cisniega had a lot of talent. You could see why LAFC and John Thorrington had decided to bring him in, whether it was going to be as a backup or even to compete against Tyler Miller. And what I love about Cisniega is he knew that Tyler Miller was the #1 keeper coming in, yet he didn't stop working.
Well, for me, when I came in, I knew that at the beginning it was going to be tough to get opportunities, especially with everything that had happened and me coming into training camp not at my best level. But I knew that if I worked hard, eventually I was going to get a chance, and I was just trying to be prepared for when that chance came to be able to take it, So for me, it was just exciting to see all that hard work kind of pay off.
I love to see swagger. And I feel like Cisniega has that. He's not a guy who's just stepping in as a #2. He's had overseas experience playing over in Spain, and you can see it when he steps in between the pipes.
Into the run of the on-rushing Christian Espinoza, trying to get around Blessing.
There was one in the second half. I remember Latif was fighting with Espinoza. It was off of a corner kick that they were able to break.
I thought Latif had already had control of the ball, and then their winger was a fast guy, was very tricky, and he was able to get the best of Latif. So I just saw him take a little bit of a long touch.
And then you're like, oh man, I think that would have been a game-tying goal. And Pablo came up huge.
And I just went out and made myself big and was able to get a hand on it.
Keeps it now, Espinoza, knocked out Cisniega. Collects the rebound.
All of our goalies in particular, there's always, or at least this season, there's been a moment in the game where they've had to come up big and keep us in the game or be able to sustain the lead, or if we were down, obviously keeping us in the game. And our goalies have all come up with it. And in particular, Pablo, in that game, he was able to come up with multiple saves, which it's very difficult for a goalkeeper to win you a game. But in that instance, it was definitely his game and man of the match for me.
Playing in front of the 32-52 for my first time and getting that home debut was a big moment for me. I was very excited. I was very happy to get to play in front of all the fans. My dad was there and some friends from Spain were also here. And being able to play in front of them after everything I'd been through was just an awesome experience, and it was really great to have them see like such an important moment for me. First of all, physically, I've improved a lot. I mean, when I came here, I was still recovering from a spleen injury, so I wasn't where I needed to be physically. And I mean, the whole staff here has really done a great job at helping me get back to where I needed to be physically. And then also with Zach Abdel, he's helped me out a lot. He's kind of helped me polish some points that I had. I mean, some techniques that I think were kind of detrimental to my game. So he kind of didn't change a lot, but changed a couple things that have really helped me improve and get better, you know?
I'm honest with every keeper I work with, and I tell him what he needs to work on it. We need to change his stuff, and it's not easy. And he learns so fast because he's a very, very professional. He have his own camera to tape it in practice. He go watching home, text me, we see a second day, and I see a big, huge difference from him, and I'm so proud of him.
Vaco to equalize. Another save, Cisniega.
Living in Los Angeles, it's pretty simple. You need 2 cars. The Lakers need 2 star players. You need 2 vacation homes. Not all of us have vacation homes. What I'm getting at is you need 2 goalkeepers. And we saw it case point with Pablo Cisniega coming in to save the day. And look, nothing's been promised to Pablo Cisniega. He knows Tyler Miller is the #1 goalkeeper, but he saw an opportunity, he took it.
Espinosa's cross. Wondolowski with a back heel flip, but Cisniega makes a save. Wondolowski at the 6 got all of the back heel towards the back post. Cisniega said no.
And I think everyone around LAFC just feels a whole lot more comfortable knowing that we not only have 1 good goalkeeper, we have 2.
I'm happy because now we have 2 keepers now. You give me the best problem any coaching staff you have a two good player for 1 position. That's the best. Like a big problem, but it's the best problem. I tell him this other day, like continue work hard, and now we'll fight. I hope that's my goal with him. To be U.S. national team, Mexican national team, fight for him. That's a good problem too. That's like, you know, and when national team want you, that means you're doing good with the club.
Center circle now, Segura. Everybody for LAFC into the offensive zone. Segura on the ground nicely to Win. 30 yards from goal. Win can attack the 18. Win just outside of the area. Laying it off to Rossi. Rossi, the shot. Goal!
Well, San Jose got off to a great start in that match. They got an early goal from a great player in Vaco, and it looked like they really came to play after being embarrassed earlier in the season by LAFC. But what I liked about what the black and gold did is they didn't let that early goal take them out of their game. They kept attacking in the way that LAFC loves to attack.
We knew it was going to be a tough game. San Jose likes to play 1-to-1 the entire game, and so it was all about trying to find pockets of space and lose your man. I think it was Eddie, drove forward with the ball, and I was able to find an opening in the half space.
And right around the 35th minute, Lee Win saw a run by Diego Rossi, one of the best runs we've seen all season, really, from an LAFC forward.
And I was able to slide him through right before the goalie came out.
And Rossi got through on a diagonal, and Win hit him with a perfect ball. Rossi still had a lot of work to do, but was able to get the ball past the keeper, and just one of the best goals, really, we've seen all season.
Excellent goal there, set up perfectly by the black and gold. Great job by Diego Rossi to make the run, and Lee Win, perfectly timed, held the ball up just long enough. Win had the 2nd goal against Salt Lake City, and now he gets an assist here. Diego Rossi's 6th goal in U.S. Open Cup play.
The part of his game that he's raised, I think, is his clinical finishing. In the past, he would get into these spots and, the first goal for LAFC in Seattle, he would do that, but at times he was lacking that. And then this year, I feel like anytime he gets into those positions, he's way more clinical in the box. And I think he's also been able to disguise his dribbles, whether he comes inside or goes down the line. He's been really working on not being so predictable. And for him at such a young age to be able to pick up these things and kind of learn on the fly throughout a season is massive.
Win plays it ahead, Rossi! What a cheeky finish for LAFC, level terms in the 35th.
His decision making on his runs is just so hard to mark him when he gets going with his pace, with his agility, and so he's able to put himself in dangerous spots a lot, and then you have to have the quality to finish, and he's able to do that in that moment.
He's a very fast player, and people don't notice it, but the last couple of months and last year, people notice he's a fast player, and it's just making it difficult for the players he's playing against, and you have a very bright future here.
For LAFC, there may not be a player who needs confidence more than Diego Rossi. When he is confident, he is a completely different player out there, especially when it comes to getting down the left-hand side, taking guys on, turning that corner, forcing defenders to make decisions where they slide over and defend him, or they leave the space open so that he can slide it into guys that are making oncoming runs. When that confidence is brimming, he's a top 10 player in this league, no question.
The thing when I see about Diego Rossi, and this is what comes to mind to me every time when I see him, is like, it's going to be hard to keep him in black and gold because teams are going to be knocking on the door. My advice to LAFC, just keep the door shut. Just keep it shut and just ignore the knock. And they'll keep knocking though. But Rossi's been a remarkable player for LAFC in their short history.
Diego Rossi, an obvious all-star choice. You know, I don't think you'd find anyone who observes this league or watches this league that wouldn't pick him. He's probably the second or third name on the team sheet after a Carlos Vela type. The fact that he's a younger DP who hasn't yet spent time in Europe could be the only reason people would ever overlook him, but just watching some of the film of what he can do with the ball and what he consistently does with LAFC, I think makes it pretty obvious that this is a really well-deserved place on the All-Star team.
Headed back towards the goal, and in! It's in! Oh, what a headed goal for LAFC!
Diego Rossi had an excellent 2018. He had 12 goals, 9 assists in the league, and then was obviously very productive in the US Open Cup last year, the highlight being that hat trick in the semifinal against Houston Dynamo. He's picked up that level right there in 2019. He's got 10 goals, 5 assists so far. He's a great running mate to Carlos Vela, obviously having an MVP level season, but he's a guy that has the talent and requires opponents to pay attention to him as well, kind of taking some of that pressure off so that you can't just bottleneck one player. LAFC have a bunch of talented players on their attack, and Rossi is arguably the second most talented player on the team outside of Carlos Vela.
I'll go buy one myself.
It was intense. Definitely a sports car.
It was so fast. It was incredible.
Why just drive when you can be thrilled? See all offers at buyatoyota.com. We make it easy. Toyota, let's go places.
To Atuesta, 30 yards from goal. 2 players on him, but he gets it to K. One touches it to Blessing. Blessing's now going to pop it out wide to Harvey, who's wide open at the 18. Harvey's crossed on the back post. Blessing, goal!
I don't think there's any doubt the rivalry is really heating up with the Portland Timbers. They're one of the teams I hate the most in MLS as a sports hate. And you can tell that they do not like LAFC. So much riding on that game. Packed house at Providence Park. Brand new, fixed up stadium, if you will, for the fans up there. They were ready to extract revenge against LAFC.
They have marked this date on their calendar for a long time. So LAFC could come in and spoil the day, which is exactly what they did, but the intensity of the game, and certainly not only on the field, but in the stands, you could feel it. It was thick.
Harvey finds Blessing at the 6, and the deep one touches it into the back of the net. It's 3-1. Beautiful goal for LAFC. They recapture the 2-goal lead.
We were up 2-1, but they had gotten a goal really early in that second half, and so we were trying to get back in the game. We were able to keep a good amount of possession. I think Carlos Dad had it down the right side, It got played across to Latif.
So Mark played me, I just control it good. I saw Javi is going, and I give it to Javi. I get like space. I know there's space there, so I know Javi gonna play like cross.
The key to everything was my first touch. It was kind of out in front of me. And then as I picked my head up, Christian was making a great near post run, dragging the defenders, and Latif was like looping around the back. I didn't know if the timing was right. I kind of lofted it in there, but Latif with his speed and everything caught up to it, and it ended up being a good ball. And
it came straight to my feet. And the keeper just come that way, and I said, no, I need to like go that way, and I just place it. That's a simple goal, you know.
Harvey laid it on a silver platter, and Blessing one touches it home with a right foot to the back post.
So when I score, I think like I was so happy, you know. I think this goal score. When I scored the goal, they said to me, "Hey, you need haircut. You need haircut." I was like, "Yeah, I need haircut," you know. Then I started celebrating, you know, like start dancing. So I was so happy to score that goal. Everybody was happy for me, my family, you know. They saw the goal and said like, "Wow, it's amazing." You know.
Blessing! It's beautifully done by LAFC. And the assist goes to the oldest player on the pitch, Jordan Harvey.
I love Latif's performance in Portland, and I thought he took his goal supremely well. I mean, it was teed up on a plate for him by the quality of the ball in from Jordan Harvey. But I think it emphasised, if you like, the new threat about his game. There is that goal-scoring edge. He was never renowned for scoring goals at Kansas City particularly, but he is beginning to add that. He is getting forward with more threat and purpose. And I just think he's been a terrific signing from LAFC's point of view. Unsung, largely, but I think growing in stature and in confidence. And game by game, I see a more impressive, more effective Latif Blessing emerging.
One of the biggest talking points in 2019 for Bob Bradley and LAFC is Latif Blessing. Now everyone was looking at Andre Horta saying, here's a designated player. How's he going to fit in a lineup when he gets his legs under him? He's injured. What does Bob Bradley do? He takes a wide player in Latif Blessing, puts him in the middle, and this train has been rolling from the beginning. A big part of that is Latif Blessing is a special player and only going to get better underneath Bob Bradley at LAFC.
This season I tried to score like more goals, but I think I'm gonna, when I come back from Ghana, I think I'm gonna play my same position. Then it didn't happen that way, you know. Bob just talked to me, called me, said, hey, you know, this season we're gonna put any position you're gonna play, so I can put you right back, I can put you middle. When we start like preseason, it can start me like middle, it can start me right back. So that's why I put my mind, you know, as a player. Anywhere they put you, you have to ready, you know, because you can get a chance there.
Latif with his second of the season. LAFC respond to a rough start to the second half.
Ever since he was in Ghana, he was known as a goal scorer. Latif, you know, his whole career, I think that's what he knew. The fact that he's been able to sort of alter his game to better suit the team and give his team a better chance of winning games, I think says a lot about his character, about the type of guy he is as a teammate who's willing to adjust if need be. It's not about Latif getting stats, it's not about Latif getting goals, it's about the team winning games. And having a player on your team like that who can work as hard as Latif is hugely beneficial because they're willing to work however need be. He's even made jokes he'd play goalkeeper if it come down to that.
His ability to give us energy, to cover the most ground on the team, it really helps us in transition. And yeah, he's been great for us this year.
You didn't know he had such great vision. He's finding these passes through the lines, and you know, each and every week when he initially got into that midfield role, he got better and better. And so he's kind of commanded that position, and so we're all that better because of it.
No, he's been great. He's a very important guy in the midfield, and it's a lot of energy when he's coming on the field, and the fans loves him, and especially we call him Kante every day, and he knows that. So he's everywhere. If you turn your back, he's there and snapping the ball and giving good passes and good tackling, and it's a lot of energy of this guy, and I'm just happy for him.
Get a shot. Say, hey, when I call you Latif, you cannot pay attention. So I'm going to call you Kante. When I call you Kante, I know you pay attention, you know. And I said, okay, fine. If you wanna, because Kante, you know, Chelsea, Kante is like doing everything, you know. When you call me Kante, it's fine, you know. Kante is a good player. He tack, he win every ball, you know. Anytime when I go to the game, you know, I have to focus and play good and score. Because when I play good, my family is happy. When I score goal, my family is happy. So I have to put that thing in my mind, you know. So when any game by game, you know, I have to do anything to make my family happy. That's what I do. You know.